Hello there. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Greg. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to dive right into it because we are excitedly talking about Avengers Secret Wars. We exclusively leaked Secret Wars over a year ago, and the comments on that video all said the same thing. It's way too soon for Secret Wars. I always thought that was interesting because, we've had a lot of Marvel projects already, right? We had a lot of Marvel projects already, and then we're having even more Marvel projects over time. We're going to have more content by the time we get to Secret Wars than at any other point. And we're going to have tons and tons of characters introduced. And it's still going to be a different kind of Secret Wars. It's it will never be exactly what the comics are, but nothing in Marvel Studios productions have been one-to-one. They've been adaptations, sometimes incredibly loosely. But I still think Secret Wars has the potential to live up to a certain expectation, at least in terms of 2015's Secret Wars. Right? Because that's the one that matters the most to me. I love the original Secret Wars. I think that's a really great comic book event, but it is 2015 Secret Wars that is the and primarily the story between Reed Richards and Doctor Doom, and that's at the crux of it. That is at the heart of it, and to me, that needs to be at the heart of any Secret Wars film, is their relationship with each other. The other stuff doesn't matter as much. It doesn't matter how many characters. It's all about that core relationship. And so when I look at it, I think it's fine. I think in terms of doing the multiverse and building it out and expanding it and getting to that Secret Wars event film is appropriate, and I think that they can do it in the time allotted. I think what's important, though, is that they keep to the heart of that relationship, which is the relationship between Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. And I don't believe it's a coincidence that the final phase of the multiverse saga is bookended. It begins with Fantastic Four and it ends with Secret Wars. I do not believe that is a coincidence. I believe that is very intentional, and I believe that tells us a great deal of what we need to know going into this project as they are released a year apart. Now, looking in-depthly to it, looking back on the rumors that we heard when Secret Wars, when we first leaked it, in terms of the early development and the things that we heard, there was, of course, always, the biggest one, the biggest crux of this story is that it was going to see the reprisals of Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., that both of them would reprise their roles as Steve Rogers, Captain America, and Iron Man in this massive event film, which would, of course, see Doctor Doom take center focus as the antagonist. As more information has come to light, I think we can sort of start piecing this puzzle together. I think we have more than enough information, and I think we might be onto something. The biggest one is that with the Kang Dynasty, Doom is going to work with our heroes, and at the closing of the Kang Dynasty, Doom is going to betray everyone and is going to take Kang's power for himself, and Doom is going to remake reality, at least in some effort, and that he is going to become the God Emperor Doom that we know of him to be, again, as a tie-in to Jonathan Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars. That was a part of the earliest leaks. That was a part of the earliest kind of, discussions on, what we knew solely about Secret War is that at the time, now we didn't know if it was going to be a part 2 or anything like that, but at the time, we were under the impression that Secret Wars was going to be Doctor Doom in power. Now that we know we get 2 Avenger films, one is Kang Dynasty and one is Secret Wars, we can sort of start piecing together maybe how that happens, which again, Doom working with the heroes, betraying them, getting Kang's power, rewriting reality. So we can start to piece together how we get to that situation in Secret Wars. Now again, this is all very early treatments. These were all very early rumors. We'll see what ends up panning out. But we can, at least for me, this is how I'm going to piece together what we heard then and what we know now and trying to bridge the gap. And I think it's pretty seamless. I really do. I think you can easily bridge a gap almost like a trilogy of Fantastic Four, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars. I think you can make a through line through that. now that we have more information. And I think you can see how all of this fits together, especially knowing what we do know about Doctor Doom right now in terms of other projects, which I'll isolate that for other conversations if you don't want to know about how Doom fits into other projects, or at least the rumors that we've heard how Doom fits into other projects. Because again, your mileage will vary on what again, rumors, leaks, and how you choose to approach this information. I know how I choose to approach it. I choose to approach it very excitedly. The Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom are some of my all-time favorite characters, only rivaled by the X-Men and Magneto. There is nothing better, in my opinion. I would choose the Fantastic Four over the Avengers any day. I would choose the X-Men over the Avengers any day. It's a toss-up. Now, it's hard to choose between the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, but I'm just trying to give you my level of involvement and passion. I would choose Victor Von Doom and Magneto over Thanos or any other bullshit character. Like, Victor Von Doom and Magneto are Marvel's greatest assets in terms of villainy, or at least anti-heroes, because they've never been like full-on villains. I mean, yeah, they've done terrible things, but you kind of have to respect their approach. So I am excited. I am really giddy, which clouds my judgment just a little bit. I'll be completely upfront and honest about that, but I can't help it. I can't help it looking at the approach, and especially knowing that we are getting Reed Richards, we are getting Victor Von Doom, and at least the earliest reports pointed to them being at the center of the Secret Wars film. And I want that to be true. I hope that is true. And I'm going to follow what I've heard until there is absolute information one way or the other, because it excites me and because I have a bias and an investment in those characters. I would rather see those characters take center point than seeing Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans take center point again, which I know. I know that them two reprising their roles will make whatever film they appear in the biggest film of the year, maybe the biggest film ever. It could end up being the biggest film of all time just because of the relationship, the nostalgia, and the fan reaction to seeing those two back on screen. It will be huge. I don't argue that. The business and marketing sense of it absolutely makes sense. I get it, getting them back for a film. But I still don't want them to be the stars of it. I still want Reed to be the star of it. Robert Downey Jr. had his moment to shine. Captain America had his moment to shine. If they come back, it needs to be, yes, absolutely in a key role. But I don't want them to overshadow the relationship between Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards, because Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards their relationship is a pillar. It is integral to this story. I would hate to see it become what happened with Ultron, where Henry Pym has no role in Ultron's story, and that relationship's completely lost, and we got something less for it. The relationship between Tony Stark and Ultron simply isn't that interesting. The approach to Ultron in the MCU was simply not interesting. It did not work. I love the character, but I love the character, I love the casting of James Spader, but I don't miss him because there was nothing interesting about the relationship or about what was on display in the Age of Ultron film. And Ultron is probably my third favorite villain in Marvel if we're going through, top fives, and he was completely, utterly wasted, and the relationship was just gone, and there was nothing interesting about it. The relationship between Henry Pym and Ultron is far more entertaining and far more engaging than what Tony Stark did. And I would hate to see Secret Wars become that as well. It does not need to be an Iron Man Returns film. It does not need to be a Captain America Returns film. They can have incredible supporting roles. They can have a pivotal moment, and they can have that kind of clapping going, oh my God, look who's back, and here's $2 billion at the box office just handed to you. But it still needs to be about Reed and Victor. There are different assets and aspects of this film that I want to dive into in terms of the rumors we heard over a year ago to kind of where we are now, and I kind of want to chart that journey. But this is sort of the beginning of our discussion on the Secret Wars film and everything that we've heard. There is a lot to unwrap here and unpack here, because this is a project that's been rumored, like I said, for over a year from when we first leaked it, and now we're getting close to it. It is coming. We have the project confirmed, and now that we have the project confirmed, when everybody told us there's no way they're going to do it this soon, they did. Sorry. I have my ego caught in my throat. Excuse me. So now that we have Secret Wars confirmed that it is really happening and it is happening this soon, it's time to go over some of the other things that we've heard. And I'm interested to see how they shake out. But the one that is most important to me is that this truly stays a story about Reed and Victor. And that whatever comes of the special appearances by Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., that while pivotal, it is minimum. And that they are not the heart of the film, if that makes sense. So I look forward to your thoughts and comments on this. And again, this is only even the briefest of overviews in terms of what we're going to be diving into, and I look forward to diving into that with all of you. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please consider supporting us on our Patreon. That link is available in the description below, and we currently have 2 tiers available, a $3 tier and a $5 tier. Also available now is my debut novel, 89 Instrument of Destruction. You can order it by following a link in the description below. And finally, you can join our amazing Discord community, The Tower, by following a link in the description below. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share content with your friends. It all helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. Above all else and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a legendary day. Bye, everyone.